What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about another potential reason why Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is going to be absolutely massive, and it's actually talking about reviews going out very, very early. Now, I know what people are probably going to say, and actually, I kind of agree. What I've actually seen in response to this is a lot of, hey, doesn't matter what reviewers say, I'm excited for the game, all that stuff, and I think there's a good amount of truth in that. We talk about that all the time on the channel. Trust your own judgment, make decisions on these games based off yourself. But what I will say, okay, taking a few steps back, and I've gotten review codes here and there before too. When a game is so confident to give out codes 4 weeks, an entire month before the game comes out, I kind of just said it. Confidence is that main word. Now, does it 100% result in the game being like a Game of the Year contender? No. We don't know that for sure. Technically, people don't even have the game yet, even for review, right? And then obviously the common folk, that get the game day one. Obviously, there's no guarantee, okay? I want to make that very clear and very transparent, right? Because I think it's very easy to just go off and say, oh, guaranteed to be, a slam dunk thing. I do think this game is shaping up to be extremely good. I have so much confidence in it. I don't think they've shown me anything that makes me think that they've been led astray, from the first game. I've been saying for a while, I think this game is kind of like a sleeping giant. Like when this game comes out, the first game I think sold 6 million plus units. I think that over time, okay, granted it was over several years, but I do think this game has potential to sell a couple million in the first day or week. I really, really believe that. And this is kind of just another example of at least that quality, right? Where, okay, well, why? Well, when you're giving out a code 4 weeks ahead, I think you're kind of doing it for two different reasons, right? Number one, the review embargo is probably a little bit early. And now, for games nowadays, that doesn't really matter. I've talked about that a lot on the channel. There's games where the reviews go live the day before the game comes out, and normally, back 10, 15 years ago, that would mean the game's a disaster, right? If a review went live the day before the game came out, the game's getting a 2 or 3 out of 10 from IGN, right? Like, it's going to be really bad. But nowadays, just because of the internet, because of leaks, because of all this stuff, a lot of games, the review scores come out the day before. So that doesn't worry me, although I would not be surprised if Kingdom Come's embargo is not the day before. I wouldn't be shocked if it was a week or even more before the game actually comes out. We'll see. I actually think once people get it over the next couple days, because the code's not out yet, right? They're sending the code out. Well, they said the next few days. I imagine tomorrow into the weekend, they're going to do kind of like round one or wave one of codes, and they'll probably do it in waves, right? So I imagine somebody's going to leak that date to like a Tom Henderson of the world, or some leaker out there, and we'll know the date of the review embargo. So that's one thing. Number two, it's like, well, if the game wasn't ready, oftentimes you don't give the game out until 2, maybe even 1 week before the game comes out, and you're probably working on it, until 7, 8, 9 days before the game comes out, and you're simply not ready. This game went gold, I think, back in early December, and if they're sending it out tomorrow, game's ready. Now, this is where it's not a 100% slam dunk, right? Because the game could come out, or the game could be reviewed in a buggy mess state, which we have had games that do that, right? The reviewers play it in a state, and then when people get it, day one, there's like a day one patch that fixes a lot of the issues that reviewers have. So hopefully that's not the case, but again, there's that confidence, right? Like if you're giving it out a month ahead of time, I don't know, like you must be confident that there's not bugs, because if there's like 1,000 bugs, if the game doesn't work, even though they got it a month early, right? I imagine reviewers like bring that up. I imagine they'll talk about, hey, it's great that they gave it to us a month early, but the game doesn't work. So it's like, that kind of, I think, goes back to that confidence where they wouldn't do it if they weren't confident. And then I guess there is one other part, and it's more of like a reviewer type thing. I guess it does impact me sometimes, but honestly, very rarely. It is good on them to give such a long time, because what also can happen for a game like this, right? 50, 60, 70, 80 hour long game. These are huge. This game's huge, and there's other games that are like really meaty, right? When they give review codes out to people and they give them 4 days, this is where, I don't know, it's like the IGNs of the world. Do you really care? A lot of people don't, and that's fine. Again, even like a selfish thing, like from me, I've always kind of been given time when I've been able to do it, but it's happened so rarely that, maybe I'm not a good example. But, for a game like this is a game that when you see a review, if you trust the review, you want the person, I think, to have played a good amount of it, right? Like, this is a in-depth type game. There's a lot of systems, there's a lot of mechanics, and this is a game that you're going to spend probably 100 hours in to do everything. And that is probably the person you want to trust that's telling you if the game is good or bad. If you give that person 5 days to play this game as a reviewer, right, and they give out the codes 5 days early, that's not enough time. So again, I guess there's also that confidence. You could look at it from a confidence angle. It's also, I think, just kind of nice, right, that okay, the people that are reviewing this game, now it's on them. The people that are reviewing this game are going to get at least 3 weeks to play this game. If they can't do it, that's on them. Now again, you can look at it from the confidence angle where it's like, they're not hiding it, right? If you give people 5 days, they might get, 10, 15, 20 hours into the game. Maybe the game sucks, 20, 30, 40 hours in. Maybe you find some things that you really don't like as the game goes, but you're in a way hiding it because the reviewers aren't going to get there by the time the reviews can go live, right? So, I mean, and that's a sneaky kind of tactic that does happen, I mean, from time to time. So, again, this is another confidence thing where the game needs to be functioning because, again, people are going to call it out if it's not. And also, you're going to have people beating it. You're going to have those the channels out there, right, that do the 100% completion things. They're going to do it. They're going to be able to 100% this game. They can easily put, if this is the only game that they're getting or that's out or whatever, you can easily do 70 hours in 3 weeks in this game. YouTubers are very capable, and they will do it. They will find everything, right? And they'll find if there's huge issues in the 37.5-hour mark, in the 52-hour mark. And so, obviously, they feel good enough where it's like, yeah, let them experience the whole game. It's ready. It's optimized. All that. It's ready to go. Now, again, that's the confidence. That's the optimistic way of thinking about it. It can definitely go wrong, but we'll see. I have a good feeling about this game, and I've said for a while, I think this game is going to be one of the bigger games of 2025. So hopefully I get it. I did ask for one. We'll see if I get a response. Highly doubt it. Honestly, highly doubt it. But I will play the game day one. I'm planning on getting it myself anyway. So I'll have some videos up as we go, and I hope you guys join me along that ride. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.